back to the Koreans Q&A of life in East Africa. So some questions have been sent in, and this is a really good one. Is language a barrier? Most definitely. If we could do our time again, if somebody comes over this way and they want to serve long term, what I would say to them is you go to language school for 6 months. Don't do anything but immerse yourself in the language, the culture, and things like that. It has been a real disadvantage for us not to learn Kiswahili, which is the main language here in Kenya. Yes, people speak English, and yes, they speak Ma, and all sorts of, we have 43 different languages that are spoken just in one country. Yes, it is, but we know enough to get by and know when people are, trying to rip you off or encouraging you or something like that. You've got to realise we don't just work in Kenya, where there's lots of countries, 6 other countries around us we work in. Congo, but a lot of these countries speak Swahili, but it's different Swahili. Tanzania, Ethiopia, they don't. They speak a totally different language in the whole of East Africa. Sudan, Uganda, all sorts of places that we work in. So the Swahili that is spoken here in Kenya is very different from our neighbouring country of Tanzania. Now Tanzania is only a 6-hour drive to the border from Nairobi, but I've tried to speak Swahili there and they just laugh at you because they're like, you guys don't even speak the proper stuff there. A lot of people in Kenya speak, especially Nairobi, speak Sheng, which is like the street language of Kenya. So yes, has been disadvantaged. Do we kick ourselves? Yeah, but what happened when we came was literally to throw ourselves into work. So we don't allow anybody to do what we had to do. Definitely, if you're going to serve in a country, spend a year or so learning the language before you go. Great question that's come in. What do you use for transport? No, we don't have donkeys. This is a very modern place. There are things, buses, cars, motorbikes. We used to have a motorbike. A good friend of ours in Australia paid for a bike for us, which was fantastic. Pete could shoot out to projects and things like that. But he felt after about 7 years that it was getting too dangerous on the roads because people here are crazy drivers. We have a car. We've got an X-Trail. We call it Big Red. And Big Red has been going faithfully for 9 years, but needs a lot of work on it every couple of years. And like I've said in a previous video, HD Projects in Australia, not only did they help us buy the car, they're helping us for 9 years to maintain it. And it's about $2,000 a year just to maintain our cars because the roads we go on are really rough. A lot of people will catch public transport. So that will be a bus or a matatu, which is a minivan, usually packed with lots and lots of people in it because they're relatively cheap. A lot of people walk. So I'll walk to the shopping mall, which is about 15 minutes from here. Sometimes we've driven there and it takes longer to get there. Obviously, you've got to get groceries, then you're going to take the car. But yeah, a lot of people do walk. Great question that's come in. What do you miss about home? So I'm presuming you mean New Zealand. Talk about home. It's very, very hard because Kenya is our home. We feel like tourists when we go back to New Zealand. It takes a good 6 months to settle back in. What do I miss? Well, obviously your kids, your grandkids, the food, the roads are fantastic. Doesn't matter if people complain about it. The driving is not insane like here in Kenya. And I'll put some videos up of, and I have in the past, I'll put some new ones up of what we have to encounter because there's no such, there is an AA and you do get a license. I'll show you my driver's license. I've got just down here somewhere. Here we go. So our driver's license here. You have to be licensed to be on the road and your car must be insured, even if it's third party. But yeah, when you go to New Zealand or Aussie or America, it's just like, there's just the stress level goes down on the roads. You don't have corrupt police and things like that. So who are going to stop you and demand money or throw you in jail. That's kind of the options that you have here. So what do I miss? I miss things like good cheese. I love cheese, which is probably good that I'm here because I'll be putting on my cream. And I'm not a great ice cream fan, but some New Zealand stuff. But the quality of food there is really, really, it's beautiful in taste. So what and it's just beautiful. But of course it's family. But thankfully, because of technology, we can be there every day. I get messages from my kids, so that's really cool. But it's things like when they have grandparents' day at school, or it's your kids' birthdays, or Christmas. Those are the really big ones that like hit you in the heart. The reason I travel back to New Zealand, obviously so much, is because of grandbabies arriving. A little bit of parent guilt going in there because we've made the choice to be away, and you want to be there when you can, support when you can. So when we're there, we're 100%. Good question that's come in. What do you actually do over there? Well, it's a lot. When we started in Australia in 2007, we started Beyond Water, never intending to move to Kenya. But like I've said previously, we felt we had skills that people could improve their lives on. We felt that we needed to represent donors' money closer because there's a lot of corruption over here, and we have what's called getting eaten up. So we want to make sure people's money get to where it is. So what we do is we install water tanks and guttering in schools, toilets, hand washing facilities, health education days, and we also make sure girls get sanitary products through our Girls Project, and that's across 3 locations in Kenya, and this year we're starting in Rwanda, which will be pretty exciting. What do? I do a lot of training with our staff, and we've spent 6 years training, getting a team running up and training them. Just started with 1 person, and now we've got 3 in the office and all the field people. And so that's what we do. Pete's visa permits him to train locals. And so I can pretty much do my job anywhere, but you can't get that personal touch, that personal change in people's lives. So the Girl Project is actually run all by my locals now, where I used to be involved with that. So a lot of administration. So you've got to realise Beyond Water runs in New Zealand, Australia and Kenya, and if we do projects in other countries, like we've got one happening in Uganda in the next few months, there's a lot of work that has to get done on that. Me personally, grant writing, fundraising, growing the organisation, talking with our boards, doing Zoom meetings, lots and lots of off-site stuff that you won't see. So you'll see a lot of my staff doing stuff and not me, because it's actually not about me, it's about them. Pete has a very hands-on approach. He's fantastic. So currently he's out at Goswani, which is about a 4 or 5 hour drive on a bad day, and he is putting the capping beams onto toilets that they've been building, installing water tank and guttering for a school and a hospital. He's a practical guy, so him getting in the office drives him crazy. You can only do so much, and that's receipting and all that, and overseeing the finances. But he loves to be out there, so he's working his little tushy off. He's up there on hammering and ladders and ordering stuff and working alongside the locals, making sure we get quality projects. Because we've seen a lot of projects that are real crappy, and we don't want our name associated with that, so we do really good stuff. I make sure we do things like the videos that are going up and reaching out to our donors and thanking them with videos and photos, a lot of stuff like that. So that's kind of what we do, and we love it. Thanks guys, hope you have a great day.